Hey everybody, we are back again, and for the very first time, we're going to do a video on Star Wars Rebels. It's on Disney XD. It's kind of a very child-friendly Star Wars cartoon, but if you're grown up and you haven't checked out Star Wars Rebels, it's kid-friendly, but it's grown-up friendly.
Yeah, it's pretty enjoyable for the adults too. It's something you can watch with your kids and not be bored out of your mind.
Yeah. It's not something like really silly like Phineas and Ferb or anything like that, although I really like Phineas and Ferb.
He's just a big kid though, so.
Quiet. But it was either Friday night or Saturday night. I think it was Saturday night. We got the season premiere of Season 2. Now, the rest of Season 2 is a little bit later. They're doing like a tease here, and they've got the premiere. If you want to avoid spoilers for Star Wars Rebels, you're going to want to stop the video right now because everything we talk about after this point is going to be a spoiler. Darth Vader confronts Kanan, and Kanan is totally outclassed in this fight. But the big thing that happened in this episode is toward the end, Ahsoka becomes aware of Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker and vice versa.
Yes.
Darth Vader learns that Ahsoka, his former apprentice, is still alive.
What was interesting to me was the fact that Darth Vader immediately gave this information to the Emperor.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka lied and said she didn't know who he was. So and it very, very much seemed like she did know who he was.
Oh yeah, she totally did.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, I'm trying to, give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, well, maybe she's recognized him, but not, and no, she knew exactly who he was.
Yeah, I think she's trying to protect the people around her, but I think that's going to backfire.
Yeah, but it was just interesting that the evil person told the truth, and the good person is the one who lied.
Yeah. That is kind of an interesting dynamic. I didn't really think of that until just now, but yeah, you're right. It's the bad guy told the truth.
Yeah.
A couple of other fun things happened in this episode. We got another look at Lando, and I thought that was really neat, a little fanboy moment. Lando's getting his own Star Wars comic soon, so be sure to check that out. That's happening in July. One thing I'm really not sure about is Darth Vader's appearance. I don't know if I like the helmet in Rebels. I think it looks a little exaggerated compared to the live action films and stuff. The eyebrow part of the dome is a little high. It just looks a little silly, I thought.
Yeah, it's a little cartoony and comical, and to be an evil lord, he really shouldn't be comical, even in a cartoon.
Like, the helmet looks surprised.
Yeah, he's like, I'm Darth Vader?
Like, this is what the helmet looks like. Like, the helmet had a really bad eye lift. But, aside from, some questionable animation choices, which the only real one is Darth Vader's helmet,
yeah.
I'm really enjoying Rebels. Season 1 was absolutely fantastic. If you get a chance to check it out, you definitely should. Season 2 is off to a great start.
Another thing that I found really, really interesting is Kanan is not really interested in fighting with the rebels.
Yeah, he's not.
And it's because he was in the Clone Wars, so he's been in war. And anybody who's been in war is not really anxious to go back to war. And that's what fighting with the rebel army is. He'd have to go back to war, and it's different than what they've been doing, and he's just not for it at all.
And if you read the comic book Kanan the Last Padawan, you get some little background information on Kanan, like what happened to him during Order 66 and why he's so hesitant to team up with actual soldiers, because he experienced firsthand, his master being murdered by his soldiers, his platoon, his comrades. So just, putting his trust in another army, he's not ready.
So that'll be an interesting dynamic in Season 2.
Because he's totally outvoted when they're talking about it. He's like, well, I don't really want to. And they're like, too bad, we're going to anyway. He's like, okay. I guess I will. So it's watching how he
deals with it
and interacts with everybody from here going forward. That's going to be really, really fun to watch. And I want to see what's going to happen with Ezra, because Darth Vader has a very poignant line when Kanan and Ezra are fighting him. He basically knocked Kanan out, and he has Ezra locked in a force grip, and he's trying to make him cut his own head off with his own lightsaber. And he says, "Your master lied to you. He told you you can become a Jedi." And I think that's going to stick with Ezra because
Yeah.
he's very self-conscious about his skill level and about his learning and his advancing, and he's not advancing quite as fast as he would like to. So I'm thinking that's going to have an impact on Ezra later, and he might flirt with the dark side this season. And there, of course, because this is Disney XD, there's a lot of humor in it. There's this part where Ezra tries to do the Jedi mind trick on a stormtrooper, and it doesn't work. And so Kanan jumps in and does it. And Ezra says, "I wish that worked when I tried it." And Kanan says, "I wished it worked on you." And the mind trick only works on those who are weak-minded. So basically, that was a compliment from Kanan.
Yeah,
to Ezra.
it kind of was. It was
Yeah.
an underhanded compliment. Yeah.
But I don't think Ezra caught on to it. But
No.
Kanan is, it took him a while to, warm up to the idea of training Ezra to be a Jedi last season. And I think he's really finally getting there. It's just, can Ezra build his confidence enough to, not turn to the dark side? So what's going to happen this season on Rebels? I'm thinking Ahsoka is a goner for sure.
Yeah, probably. Just the fact that she lied almost right off the bat, that bodes not so well for her character.
Yeah. I think Ahsoka probably doesn't make it through the end of the season, which I will be really sad to see because I was really excited when we finally got confirmation that she survived the Clone Wars. So I'm going to be really bummed when Ahsoka finally eats it, but I don't see her making it through the season at all. And with The Force Awakens coming up later this year, I'm thinking we might get a couple of hints as to what's going to go down in that movie.
That's definitely a good possibility.
That might be me more crossing my fingers than anything, but I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, if you guys are all caught up on Star Wars Rebels, let us know what you thought about it in the comments. What do you think is going to happen this season? What do you think of the Darth Vader mask in the show? I'd be interested in talking about that.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. And on Fridays, we do a Topic of the Week video, and we always need topics for that. So if you have one, put that in the comments down below, and we will look through them all and choose one to make a video for on Friday.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.